The 3DS eShop may be closing for good on March 27th, but online servers will remain untouched at least for the foreseeable future. So that begs the question, if I impregnated a Dax bun, would our child be called a man bun? It also made me wonder if anyone's still playing 3DS games online in 2023, nearly 12 years after its original launch. Last year, Mario Kart 7 was easily the most populated game, so we'll start this year with Pokémon. A lot of people pointed out that X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire share the same servers, so I should theoretically be able to find people in all 4 of them. And the same thing happened with Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, so all of these games should be populated. Now, just like in last year's video, this is about finding if people can still be found in random matchmaking. I know if I went on a Discord server or Reddit, I could find people to play against, but this is purely to see if any community is actively still active. For Pokemon X and Y, it took under 5 seconds for me to find my first single battle, and about the same time to find my second battle against a different opponent. I will add that I won both games, despite the fact that this is a used copy I bought on eBay using the previous owner's Pokemon. Unfortunately, a double battle didn't give me the same level of Nurse Joy. My first attempt failed because no one could be found after 90 seconds of searching, and my second attempt followed suit. It was the same story for triple battles and rotation battles. No trainer could be found in any of them. I also attempted a Wonder Trade, which only took 20 seconds to find somebody. I chucked up a Skitty thinking I'd get nothing in return, but ended up with a Trevenant. For the sake of science, I did run the same tests in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire just to see if the results varied. Because the 2 sets of games aren't 100% compatible when it comes to all Pokemon, it's possible more people are in the remakes. I tried all 4 online battle modes, and once again, rotation and triple were empty like my balls after sending out a Pokemon. But to my surprise, I found a double battle in under 10 seconds. Ironically, I failed to find a single battle in Alpha Sapphire when I queued up my first time. The second time, however, did work, but the game cut it close, finding them with 15 seconds to spare before the automatic timeout. Just like X and Y, finding a Wonder Trade partner was super quick, clocking in at 16 seconds. Except this time I got a Cleffa. So what I can say with certainty is that Pokemon X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire players are still doing single and double battles from time to time. People are still Wonder Trading, and a lot of people are playing with Wi-Fi turned on. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to interact with a creepy person still playing old Pokemon games in 2023. Moving to the Lion and Bat games, the modes are slightly different. For single battle with special Pokemon allowed, it took 5 seconds. Whatever you do, don't pay attention to the Pokemon I had to use. I didn't realize how bad the team was at the time. So I switched to Pokemon Moon for the rest of the testing where the Pokemon were super beefy. For single battle with special Pokemon banned, I timed out and couldn't find anybody. A double battle with special Pokemon allowed left me in suspense, finding someone with 8 seconds left. Even with all the craziness going on in that battle, the game did hold up. I thought the frame rate would chug more than Brett Kavanaugh at a college party when I used a Z move, but it actually still worked. Moving to double battles with special Pokemon banned, I proceeded to time out. For the sake of science, I went back into double battles with special Pokemon allowed and found the game within 9 seconds. It's fairly obvious. You can easily find online games with special Pokemon allowed in Sun and Moon, but you probably won't find any with special Pokemon banned. And for my last trick, I'll make my toes disappear using only my mouth. I'll also be checking out the final game mode, Battle Royal. It's not Battle Royale like Fortnite, it's Battle Royal like royalty. Here, it didn't matter which format I chose, I couldn't find anybody regardless of whether special Pokemon were allowed or banned. As for Wonder Trade, it took 30 seconds to send my Pheromosa into the world and get a Crabrawler in return. I demand a refund. Moving to the Ultra versions of Sun and Moon, I tested out everything on a copy of Ultra Moon with like every Pokemon ever made completely shiny at level 100. Yeah, I'm gonna guess the previous owner didn't accomplish all this in 40 hours of playtime. Anyways, the results were somewhat surprising. I found a single battle with special Pokemon allowed in 11 seconds and followed it up with a single banned battle in 14 seconds against Cheesy, who I assume does things dangerously. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a single game in doubles or battle royal, regardless of who was allowed in or not. I was able to find someone in Finland who likes young children to take my weird looking Furfrou through Wonder Trade though, and in return I got a Baneri. After playing every 3DS Pokemon game online in 2023, I can confidently say that they're all still populated whether you want to do online battles or Wonder Trade. However, if you're looking to play with special Pokemon banned, your chances of finding someone are much slimmer. And it looks like most people are focusing on single battles rather than double. Now that Pokemon is out of the way, let's finally get to the game you've all been waiting for. The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. Everyone was flabbergasted when I was able to find players last year, so leave your guesses in the comments right now. Will I be able to find people in 2023? Well, the answer is that I was able to find one person when choosing Swift as an arrow playstyle. No one was interested in going slow and steady. While we waited in the lobby, Grayson just picked me up and wouldn't let me go like a cat being carried around by a child. No matter how much I squirmed, I couldn't break free. To make matters worse, they spammed emotes the entire time. I left that lobby after more than 3 minutes of dealing with Grayson. I backed out and tried to find another game, but no one else was online, so it's a no-go for Zelda Triforce Heroes. Technically, there is at least one other person playing, but since you need a trio of people to actually do the thing, I have to put Zelda in the no category. Alright, I've teased you long enough, it's time for an early climax. Mario Kart 7 finished in first place last time, miles ahead of the competition. A year later, how's it doing? Well, it took only 5 seconds to find out. I instantly found a game with 5 other players, though I did have to deal with the typical Mario Kart Donkey Kong crap of waiting for a race to finish. I also found out after the race that some of the people were near ranked 3,000 while I was 1,000. So the matchmaking isn't exactly balanced when there's a low player count. I queued up again for another race, and this time around we had 8 total racers. I then backed out, waited a few more minutes, and returned instantly to find another game with 6 players. It doesn't matter what time of day, what time of year, or even what year it is, Mario Kart 7 will always have players online until the day the server shut off. And even then, people will still play online after that point. And if you're wondering if it's just races or if battle is populated as well, I can confirm that it is. I was able to find a battle with 5 other players, including Dick Bage, spelled with 2 C's to get around Nintendo's filters. While only 2 of us ended up playing, one of them had a ranking of like 99,000, so I consider myself a god for tying for first. I know Mario Kart 7 sold a bajillion copies and it's a lot of fun, but it's still crazy to me how popular the 3DS version is in 2023. If you've been watching any of the gameplay in this video and thought I sucked, just remember that I'm using an old 3DS which I don't want to risk damaging. So anytime it looks like I'm bad at a game, it's just because I'm trying to take care of my system. That's totally the reason. Anyways, Smash is a little weird. While I was able to find 2 other players right away, and for fun Smash, the game took 2 extra minutes messing around trying to find a 4th. But like every girl I try to recruit as a 4th in real life, they dropped out at the last second, leaving us with a threesome. When I queued up again in For Fun Smash, I saw a little bit of cooch, but in the end it was just me and Moisty in a 1v1. Switching to For Fun Team Smash, I waited 3 minutes and not a single person showed up. It's not like I was at a bar waiting for a blind date who did show up, clearly recognized me from the pictures, realized they'd made a terrible mistake and left. They just stood me up altogether. In For Glory, I managed to find one other person in regular Smash. There was a lot of lag in this match, which is the only reason why I didn't take a single KO. Then for Team Smash, the person from For Fun joined, and so did somebody named Snowfox. Within 90 seconds, we had a full 2v2 Team Smash. However, the lag got so bad at one point, everything froze for a few seconds, probably because of Snowfox, but we did eventually finish the game. Finally, I found an instant game in 1v1 for Glory. Because I was in a hurry, I lost in under 2 minutes though. So yes, people are still playing Smash Bros for 3DS in 2023. You just might not find more than 1 or 2 other people, and if you manage to get 4, one of them is probably using McDonald's Wi-Fi and there will be a lot of lag. Animal Crossing is another super successful 3DS franchise that has since received a sequel on Nintendo Switch. I had no idea what I was doing here, so I went to the train station. You can't play with anyone else unless they're on your friends list, so that was a no-go. Next I went to the dock. Some weird duck turtle thing took me on its boat and forced me to listen to a song while it drove in a weird zigzag pattern, prolonging the inevitable. Once I got to the island, I did some weird 6-minute fishing thing by myself that I guess I couldn't exit out of. Then I talked to some old lady duck turtle thing who sold me an application form for 50 medals, which finally allowed me to play with random strangers on the internet while we dressed up as furry animals. I had to endure another singing boat ride, talk to Cap'n again, then I learned I have to change my 3DS settings to allow strangers on the internet to interact with me. So after creating a parental controls thing and telling Nintendo that my child is over the age of 13, I was finally able to play Animal Crossing online. How a normal parent with zero internet experience is supposed to do this, I have no idea. Anyways, after 23 minutes, I was finally able to connect the internet and endure my third forced boat song. There was one other person waiting for me there on the island, Lola. Lola ignored my advances, then went on a tour by themselves. Every single time someone either arrived on the island or left, the game would go into a loading screen. And for anyone to go on a tour with you, they have to sit down in the chair first. But if you go to sit down at the moment they stand up, the tour only takes you and leaves them behind. All in all, it was an extremely infuriating experience trying to play Animal Crossing online, so I gave up after 30 minutes of stupidity. Yes, people are playing New Leaf online in 2023, but actually trying to do anything with them is needlessly difficult. Going online in Final Fantasy Explorers was much simpler than Animal Crossing. 2 button taps and I was good to go. There was even a single person named Nimbo in a lobby. After Nimbo walked me through everything, they were a million levels higher than me, we got to exploring. It was pretty boring, but I can say that literally one other person is still playing Final Fantasy Explorers in 2023. Another surprise game from last year was Super Street Fighter IV 3D Ultra Turbo Hyper Majestic Grand Supreme Edition. Prepare to have your toes exposed because it took 5 seconds for me to find my first game in Quick Match. I think it's a little unfair their ranking was 7,000 above mine, so I'll blame that for my loss. For 3D Quick Match, I kept getting an error message, so I don't think anyone's doing that. When I searched manually though, I did find one open game, but again, error. So I created my own lobby. Again, error message. After 5 attempts, I finally faced off against Straight Pimpin' and lost again. I'm beginning to think I'm not good at a game where I don't know any of the controls. I messed around again in regular Quick Match and found more fights against different opponents, so it's obvious people are still playing this 3DS launch game online in 2023. I remember from last year that Kid Icarus Uprising uses bots, so just because I can find the game, it doesn't mean the other people on the other side can pass the Turing test. It didn't take very long for me to find a match, I'm just not sure who was a bot and who was a person. I would assume the people with lowercase names were human, but I don't know if there's a way to tell for sure. What I can tell for sure is that I have no idea how to play this game other than aiming and shooting. I became Pit at some point and have no idea why. I also tried Free For All, which took about a minute, though I'm fairly confident it was all just bots. So just like last year, even if no one's actively playing Kid Icarus online, you'll still be able to find a game. You'll be seeing my results of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for Wii U in tomorrow's video, but let's just say my expectations for Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate weren't as sky high as the Kurt Russell movie. I went into the online section, chose the default options, and actually found 17 different lobbies. Since I didn't want to stand alone in a gathering hall, I tried to find a lobby where people weren't in a quest. Well, the first place was filled with people speaking French, so I left and created my own lobby. I waited and gave up after 2 minutes. So I entered Lonely's lobby and found some people to play with. Once I actually figured out how to do the thing, we went a questing. A common theme in this video is that I have no idea how to play the games. But since the point of the video isn't how good I am at them, just whether people are actually playing them, I can say this was a success. We've moved on from paid games to free-to-play games. Unlike Kid Icarus, Steel Diver makes it a little easier to tell who's real or not. When searching for a match skills battle, I found 0 people after 2 minutes. Switching to random battle though, I found a full 3-on-3 game right away. I think one person may have been a bot, but all the others were active in chat. Despite what my search history says, I'm not the biggest fan of hot sub-on-sub action, so my enjoyment here was low. But if you like Steel Diver, there's still an active community online. Coming in the rear is Ironfall Invasion, another free-to-play game that will disappear from the eShop in March. Within 20 seconds, I'd found 3 other players who were probably real based on their credits. Ironfall wants to find a full party of 6 before beginning things, so we did have to wait for the 2-minute timer to reach 0 before we began. At that point, we entered a battle. And overall, it ran smoothly, which is definitely a plus. For the purposes of testing, I did try the other modes, but couldn't find anything. So if you want to enter into a quick match in Ironfall Invasion in 2023, yes, you still can. To finish up, I will say that I did end up buying Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for this video, but the previous owner wasn't far enough into the game to unlock the online portion. So like in real life, Luigi was left out of the fun. Ultimately, yes, people are still playing 3DS games online in 2023. Mario Kart 7 once again leads the pack in this category, with people still playing all the Pokémon games, Super Smash Bros, and somehow Super Street Fighter 4. If there's any games you think I missed and should try in 2024, please let me know.